So,
Eschatology is a very
sorry.
interesting topic.
Can I come this way? That's fine.
That applies to all of us.
So, what I'm asking you in the discussion that we had so far,
Yeah.
how did you feel when you read the Quran? What are the changes that brought about within you when you read it? What do you think? Is it like an imposter writing this book, or did you feel something different? I'm not going to tell you exactly how you felt by giving example, but in your own words,
Yeah.
what are the transformational change that you felt happening within you as you read the Quran?
Cool. Yeah. So I listened to it though. I listened to it like an audiobook.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I listened to it as an audiobook. I didn't read it. And like my primary interest here, like I said, is about evil stuff that's happening in the world, why it's happening, and if people in the past told us it would happen. You know? So if the Quran says, oh, this stuff's going to happen, and it happens, that lends credence to it. The same with the Bible. So I don't follow any established religion, but I'm interested in what all of them have to say. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, honestly, I listened to lots of the Quran, hours and hours and hours, it's long. And some parts of it, like quite a few parts of it, they have quite a profound effect, because it's telling you ancient stories. And I don't know how to say it. Like it's a feeling that comes up the back of your neck and up the back of your head. You know what I mean? And it's like that. You get that type of feeling. It's like you're listening to something very profound that probably has divine truth in it. That's what I think. I had that experience with quite a lot of it. Not all of it, I have to say. I'm being honest. There was bits in it I didn't really see why it was there. Like this, I can't quote it to you, but like this tribe was attacking this tribe, and I helped you with this tribe, and I was like, oh, okay. But other parts of it had a much stronger effect. The same when I hear certain bits from the Bible. So I think these are the words of God. So there, if that answers your question.
Sure. So did you notice when the Quran talks about the end times, it talks about the events in a past tense?
No, I didn't actually get that far. I listened to 3/4 of it, so I maybe didn't get there. I've only heard bits and pieces. I had a bunch of Saudi friends, I was in Saudi, and I asked them about it. Signs of the end times, like the classic one is the competing to build the tallest building, right? And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Somebody told me earlier that there would be same-sex marriage. Is that predicted in it as well?
So about the first one, I'm not sure about the second one. About the first one, it is quite authentic in the way that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prophesied what will happen in the future. These without any shoes. We're talking about people without any shoes, barefooted, Bedouin Arabs will one day compete against each other in building tall skyscrapers.
That's right.
And that's what we see today that's happening.
Absolutely.
To have this foresight is really beyond imagination, because you can't even imagine that these people will survive even the fighting between the inter-tribalistic differences. They fight over a camel or a horse for 40 years, something like that, right? Let alone they will be the ones who will be building the tallest skyscraper in the future. So this foresight, I mean, it should really make you think, I mean, how can someone with, this information on the future to have it and possess that knowledge?
Yeah, right.
So it's very interesting. The point that I was highlighting earlier, when the Quran talks about how the world's going to come to an end, it doesn't say this is how it will happen. Most of it is described in the past tense.
Yeah.
Like
because
إِذَا
it's gonna happen.
السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ. Like already in the past tense. The sky is already cleft asunder. So things that are happening, how وَجُمِعَ الشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ, how the sun and the moon will come together, because all of the celestial bodies will be split apart from their orbits. They no longer will be there. It describes it in the past tense.
Yeah.
Why? Because to Allah this has already happened.
Yeah.
Right? And he's describing this so vividly, with giving this graphic description, so that you can see that, okay, you have no other recourse but to believe that, okay, this is an event that has already happened, rather than thinking, oh, it may happen. You see how the Quran uses this kind of descriptions.
Understand. Yeah.
There's a feature in the Quran called iltifat, okay? This rhetorical device in which, this change or shift in tense or in grammar, in numbers and so on and positions is there to produce a profound rhetorical effect. So when the Quran, for example, talks about the state of people who disbelieve, for example, right? And they're in a ship and the ship is sailing.
Yeah.
And there are winds coming through and the ship is about to, for example, sink, something like this. They are so afraid. So it starts by saying, when they are in a ship and they see themselves like this, and it changes this address to say, then you feel that way and you call upon God. You immediately, this address is transformed, like you are watching something, you're thinking about them, but now it's you in their shoes.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh Allah, help us, save us from this calamity. And when Allah saves you, and you say, no, it was our own doing. So Allah, this kind of vivid imagery Allah produces, shifting from the address from third person to second person and so on, is profound. If you knew a little bit of Arabic, you would know that. So when you see the
I've got
addresses,
some questions for you.
yeah. When you see the Quran, as you said, these feelings of what we call like addressed to you, is becomes stronger. Like you feel like you said, maybe it's like divine, maybe it's something from the divine, isn't it?
Yeah. No, so my primary purpose here, at least to talk to people today, like I was talking to this guy and a bunch of people, is to talk about what's happening right now and how it relates to the end of the world type of thing, or whatever that means. Like the things being forced upon us, the changes to our way of life, the attacks on freedom, the coming probably forced vaccinations, the stuff that happened when I saw in Saudi Arabia taking the Qurans out, stopping people from doing Hajj unless they take it. Very, for me, very bad things. That's what I'm interested in, as well as the idea of the mark of the beast. I'm not sure if you have that in the Quran. I think you do. That though, when the Dajjal, however you say it, comes, everybody will be forced to take a mark in order to participate in society, right? Because this is in the Christian
I don't
belief.
think about the mark is there, but the Quran does talk about a lot of things that will happen in the end of times.
Yeah.
And it gives you, as I said, vivid imagery and descriptions of the reality. So the reason the Quran does that is for a reason, that the world is one day going to come to an end.
Yeah.
Yep. It is not created here for, to live forever. We are placed here to continue our life, to fulfill our purpose.
Yeah, right.
And this is what we should be thinking. The Quran brings back to us again, having known this is going to happen, having known how He created you. You know how the Quran addresses the resurrection of human beings again? Just, you know what? You doubt the resurrection, you doubt God is not going to bring you back again to life. Consider how He created you in the first place. He created you in the womb of your mothers in several stages, one after the other, like this. And this is how He will bring you back again. Totally consolidating and solidifying our understanding and our concept that if He created us first time like this, it will not be difficult for Him to create second time. It will be easier. And He says, okay, like if Allah even says that if He created you first time, would it be difficult? He brings about fire from the green trees. It happens in a wildfire, forest fires.
Right.
Just imagine, from green tree He brings about fires. He is able to bring you back. When you see the land barren, if you have ever seen a land in which there is no water, there is no, irrigation through water and all these mechanisms, right? And it's totally dry and cracked. But when rain comes, life sprouts forth with vegetations.
Yeah.
If there are any, pools or anything like this, you'll find fishes and so on and so forth. So Allah can bring about the living from the dead. That is not difficult for Him, it's easy. And these examples demonstrate to us how it's possible. But why is this important? Why is the Quran talking about all of this? For you is an interest, but the Quran, it has a purpose. It is trying to make you believe that the life that you are here, you need to fulfill the purpose that you are created for.
Sure.
You were not created for just to be inquisitive, just to be inquiring mind, just to live your life and have a cigar and that's happiness.
You could say
No.
we weren't created to mindlessly obey other human beings too, right?
No,
Because that's
other
what
human
we're
beings
doing,
are
right?
very limited.
That's what we're doing.
That-
People are mindlessly obeying whatever the government
That
tells
is
them.
why
Right.
you may agree that if Allah gives us, if our Creator gives us guidance to follow, to implement in our societies, that will be the best guidance.
Maybe. Yeah,
If
yeah,
the Creator
I
gave
understand.
us the guidance
Yeah,
to
yeah,
follow,
I understand the
how
process.
to run a society with this economic system, how to run a society with this social system, with this criminal punishment system, that will be the system which will be the most appropriate and just.
I think you're
And that
running
is
out
what,
of time.
and that's what the Quran and the example of the prophets provide. So you see, in your understanding, you do have this feeling that yes, we want a society to be based and built on these principles. Quran just does that. Just that. So yourself, my friend, what you all need to do is to read and reflect on the Quran and ask yourself, if this is book from God, I am going to accept it. Why am I going to reject a book knowingly that I know it cannot be from other than God? That is the journey. That is the journey you have to take. Everyone has to take that journey and make their own choice and make their own decision.
Absolutely, everyone does. Well, maybe the last thing I'll say, I'm interested because I've spoken to a lot of Christians recently in a bunch of places around London about the same thing, same questions about the end times, end of the world and stuff, and whether they should do something about it. If you see a lot of evil in the world, because we surely do, right? You're seeing things coming out into the open. You're seeing more evil just becoming so obvious. People should do something about that, right? That's what I think, rather than just accept it and be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, right?
Shall I give you a principle in Islam which you'd agree with 100%?
Tell me.
Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet of Islam, he said, "Man ra'a munkaran, whoever sees an evil, فَلْيُغَيِّرُهُ بِيَدِهِ, let him change by his hands. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ, if he's unable to, فَبِلِسَانِهِ, let him change by his tongue. Let him speak about it, that this is wrong.
Yeah, right.
فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ, if he's unable to do that, فَبِقَلْبِهِ, and وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ, let him then, if he's unable to even speak against that oppression, that thing that is taking place, let him or her have in the heart the feeling of disgust that this is wrong, because they're incapable of stopping it from happening, but at least in your heart feel this is wrong."
Right. Well, I hope the Muslims do what you say. I hope they act on that, because we're going to need that. We're in very dark times.
Thank you very much for having the discussion. I appreciate, and we talk again.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah, take care.
Oh, elbows. Hey. All right, cheers.
Okay.